Hello everyone, happy 4th of July. Well, today's not 4th of July. This video is going to be filmed in advance, so that way, come 4th of July, this video will be posted. I am once again joined by my father.
Hello.
In today's video, we will be reviewing Yankee Doodle Dandy. Dad, what do you like about Yankee Doodle Dandy?
Well, it's a really great performance by James Cagney. He won the Oscar for it, and deservedly so.
He did.
And it gets to show you a different side of Cagney.
Right.
Not just a tough guy.
Right.
But also a very skilled dancer.
Right. He may not be as tough as he looked, but he could dance as he looked, though.
Yep.
I just love the music and also how it was also a biography film about, what was the guy's name?
George M. Cohan.
George M. Cohan, who wrote all these very well famous patriot films.
Yeah, well, he didn't write the film.
I mean songs. I meant. You're right.
Right. Yeah, he was very famous on the Broadway stage.
Right.
He was very innovative in the way he composed his songs and
right.
integrated it with the story.
Right.
And patriotism was a big subject in his plays.
Right. Well, especially at that time, this came out during World War II. This was a very patriot film for the time period.
Yeah. The movie, his biography was around World War. It was during World War II.
Right.
World War II.
Yeah.
And his songs and things came out around
right.
World War One.
Right. One thing I like about this film is the opening credit where we see Cohen's character. He's being interviewed. He's telling his whole life story from when he was born, how he came from a family of his whole family were a group of performers, and then as time goes on, we see how he goes solo. But then any other story like this, a feel good story, we see how he struggles, he gets rejected. And it's funny how when the one theater that rejected him and they were you'll be sorry one day, begging that you wish that, because that can happen you hear that in a lot of stories, how a lot of famous people were rejected and then they became something and successful, and the joke was on them.
Right,
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Even here's an example. Elvis Presley, truck driver, somebody told him, you have no talent in music, but look how that turned out for him. Or heck, even Michael Jordan was rejected on his high school basketball team, but again, look at how that turned out.
Right.
It's true they say never and listen to the naysayers in life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of rejection, especially in the field of entertainment.
Oh yeah, but somehow they turn it around and they become Cinderella stories or feel-good stories, depending. Well, that all depends on the type of story you hear about in different stories. You know what also I love about this film too? The other performances in this film are great too. Who was the one that played his wife in the film? The actress's name?
Joan Leslie.
She was great in this film. I also liked that guy who played his best friend, despite they didn't get along with him either.
Right.
Yeah.
That was his. Well, no.
In the movie I'm talking about, because he said in real life they hated each other, Cagney and.
Yeah. No. That was just the character that played the older gentleman. S.Z. Zuckel.
Yes.
Yeah. That was the one they didn't get along. Cagney and he didn't get along because he felt that Zuckel was always trying to steal the scene from whoever he was with in that particular shot.
Right.
And he would do little things that really annoyed Cagney because he was trying to take the attention away from Cagney.
Right.
That other than that, Cagney got along with everybody else, I think, on the set.
Well, hopefully got along with Bogart, despite that they were not always the dynamic duo, but still. Also, remember how in the part when his spoiler alert right here, when the father dies, that was a very very sad moment. Like he said, Michael Curtiz really made him cry when he made that scene.
Yeah, when he's on his father's deathbed.
Yeah.
And he's speaking to him very emotionally, and tears come into Cagney's eyes, and you can hear the emotion in his voice. The director, Michael Curtiz, was overtaken with emotion.
It's a sad scene.
And started crying during that scene.
Having rewatched it for this review, before Cohen comes in to see his dying father, I don't it's funny when you watch a movie for a second time or another viewing a few years later compared to when you were when I was I may have been 19 or 20 when I saw this for the first time. I don't remember the part where the two doctors are talking how almost everyone in his family. Like how his sister died, his mother died, and then after when his father died, he was the last of the Cohan.
Yes, yeah.
That's
that's interesting. I'm not sure. This is the type of movie where they take liberty with facts.
Right.
For example, George M. Cohan was married twice.
Right.
They don't mention his first wife.
Right.
Also, it was very interesting to read about how George M. Cohan was not a Democrat. He was a very
Republican.
Yes, he was a Republican, very conservative, and he did not want to meet Delano Roosevelt.
Really?
Because he felt that he was against his politics.
Right.
So that whole thing with him, sitting down and speaking to Franklin Delano Roosevelt was all concocted by Hollywood.
It was not real. It was just made up for the movie to make it look good. And also remember how the way the movie ends after the interview, where he's because the film also goes through not only just through his life story, it's what was going on during those times, being born during Civil War era, then having lived through World War I, and then Depression. Then, like I said, America was in World War II around that time period when the film came out. He's marching with the band, and the man asks, "Oh man, do you know this song?" It's he wrote this song. Of course he. Right. But again, that's another thing. You never know who you meet sometimes, and not knowing this person could be famous or someone that was someone special. That reminds me when somebody I knew in high school said that he met George Lucas on an elevator at a Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
And shook his hand. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
It is crazy. So you never know. Next time you're out on the street, you never know sometimes who you can meet that was famous or not, or somebody special and years before your time, maybe.
Yeah. Actually, our cousin met Anthony Hopkins on an elevator. Remember?
Which cousin?
Maria.
Oh yes. Maria. Our cousin Maria told us that. That's right.
Who was very, very friendly, by the way.
Compared to Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, Cagney's performance is full of energy. I mean, all of his performances are usually, but this one, you can just see the joy that he has in portraying this character.
Yeah.
And Cagney really started out as a dancer. I think it wasn't. I don't think it was in his plans to be cast as a gangster and to be remembered primarily as a tough guy gangster. And it's very interesting that he did study George M. Cohan's dancing style and imitated it with the stiff legs.
Right.
And Cagney was known for little touches that he used to put into his character.
Yeah.
One very interesting thing, and I didn't point this out when we were watching it, but it was when the skyrocket goes up and it indicates that he was innocent. He did not throw the race.
Yeah.
When they were at the pier with the boat going on.
Yeah.
When he starts dancing on the pier, he does a little thing where during his tap dancing, he taps with both of his feet up against a barrel. And it's a little tiny thing, but that probably was very difficult to do. And I'm sure that's something that he had lived and put into there. That just adds to the whole routine. That
it sounds like you said before. Cagney did a lot of improvise, like the end when he's walking down the stairs. He's that was not in the script. It was just all
right when he was walking down the stairs and he starts tap dancing down the stairway.
Right,
which I'm sure is not an easy thing to do.
No, he's lucky he didn't fall down and break a leg or.
But that was improvised.
Wow,
and it was very appropriate. Also, a very interesting thing about this movie is that Cagney was getting criticism because he had some very ideas that would help people almost in being like a socialist. I mean, he was getting labeled as a socialist.
Right.
Which at that time was looked upon as being anti-American.
Right.
So doing this movie kind of reasserted his love for the country of America, the United States.
Right. It was definitely the feel-good film that people needed around this time when World War II was going on at the time.
Right. Yeah. It also, a flag-waving type of movie during a very difficult time in our country's history.
Yeah, that's true.
It gave people a big boost.
Oh yeah, well then again, a lot of movies gave people big boosts during the war to help them lift their spirits up, and that anything was still possible despite the crazy time period that time with the war. Like, you know, men going out in service, or men dying in battle, or men who were like still like lucky to survive that war. From
Yeah.
As we all know, war changes people. Even though it's a different subject, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the other, like I said, like I didn't agree about with Cagney. I think this may have been the first film I saw of his that was like where he was not the gangster for once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually he only danced in one other movie before this. It was Footlight Parade, and you know, he showed his dancing skills in that also.
Would you say he would have been, if he was somewhat of an overrated like dancer, he could have been like right up there with like Fred Astaire or Gene Kelly or?
Well, I think that I don't think he's in that class.
No, I'm just saying like if he had done more.
The way he dances is very, it's unique style of dancing.
Right.
And he really can't sing.
No, that's another. I mean, I think that's one. That's really a minor complaint, but thankfully he doesn't sing that. He danced. I'm thinking to myself, could he sing, or was this being dubbed, or?
No, it was him.
I hate to say it, he stunk at singing. I'm sorry, Cagney.
Well, yeah, it was. It's something that my father would say. He didn't know how to sing, but he knew how to put a song across.
Right.
And that's basically it. He talk sings, and it works. But it's not the kind of thing where you'd go out and buy, you know, a music album of him singing.
One thing I forgot to mention before about the who plays his like wife.
Yes.
Remember how like when they're talking about like how he wrote this song for her, but she doesn't perform it because he got this other singer. And I like how when they're in the theater, they're listening to, and he asks, "You're still not upset?" She goes, "You wrote this song for me, but she got the author."
Yeah, she got the author of the song, but didn't get to sing.
Right. Well, most of the time they would be like upset or like distraught from like not being able to sing the song. That was like, but I guess she just looked at it more as a positive in that way than not being able to sing it. That at least she got the guy in the end. I'm thinking, wow, how very positive of her to say something like that. Any other thoughts on the movie that come to mind that?
No. I just to mention Michael Curtiz,
who did Casablanca,
a great director who was able to direct a wide variety of things. You know, he did a lot of Earl Flynn movies,
right?
With this swashbuckling pirate, even Western. You know, he was able to do a lot of different types of movies. And I think he did a great job directing this musical. He
did. He most certainly did. Well, that it's like a great musical in general. Period. It's as I was saying before. This is just like a great film, very feel good and very true patriotism.
Yes, it is.
Even though despite the shirt I'm wearing is Captain America, not related to the film, but it was as close as I got to wearing red, white, and blue for this review. Close enough, right? Yeah. Okay, so I guess that's about it. Alright, so that was our review of Yankee Doodle Dandy. Like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get the latest updates on my YouTube channel. And have a very happy 4th of July and Yankee Doodle Dandy Day.
Yes, that's right. Have a nice 4th of July.